Here we go. For Cedric, I am also a huge fan of Paramore and Hayley Williams. Have you been able to put a finger on why the new music doesn't resonate with you? It hasn't grabbed me either, but I can't really figure out why. Yeah, I can tell you why. Got two answers. First of all, because it fucking sucks. That's the first reason. Second of all, let's discuss why it sucks. And I'm sure this has probably happened to you, but I'm going to ask you this. You being Patrick, not you, Matthew. Though I do appreciate the question. So we like Paramore, or I like Paramore, because their second album technically, Riot, but their best album, she's angry. You know, she's just like kind of raging and using her voice in probably the biggest way she's ever used her voice in her entire life, with Misery Business and everything else that she's singing on that album. And then the second album is kind of a follow-up to that, but it starts to mellow out a little bit. And then the third album, self-titled, technically fourth album, starts to get a little bit more mellow. And, you know, there's still some of the rage there, but not infinite. And like, Ain't It Fun is the biggest demonstration of that because, like, first of all, song title, second of all, how the song goes, it's just like kind of boppy and not like angry like Misery Business or Crush and stuff like that. And then that's just been the trajectory, because it's really hard to be angry when you're rich.
Yeah.
And that's and like when you are trying to make it in your 20s and prove to the world that, you know, you're great and put everything on the line, and every show is the most important show that you've ever done, right? It's just, you can't keep that up forever. And that is why, you know, the new Paramore music is very slow and like feels more like Lana Del Rey, who I don't love, but I don't dislike. It's just, this isn't Paramore when I was 24. This is Paramore when I'm 37, and they also age and they're rich. And I'm bringing this over to you because I don't know if there's a band that like you loved when you were younger, and then like as they've released more music, as you've gotten older, they've gotten older, and you're just like, just doesn't hit the same. It's worse. It's different, whatever.
I think that is almost just true generally, unless artists are trying to do new stuff, because whatever life experience is, thoughts in your brain, like the curation of your art, whatever, it didn't start from the position of being super famous.
Sure.
And so whatever that anger, that energy, that verve that you're describing, like, it would be weird to feel the same way when you've achieved more success than you could have possibly imagined. You do whatever you want. People are constantly like fawning over you and asking you your thoughts on things. Like, you have primacy in every conversation. It's just, how do you keep the essence of your art the same when your life transforms like that? It seems fundamentally dishonest to me. And it also sort of evinces a lack of curiosity too, because it's like, okay, what would you do now that you can do anything that you want?
Sure.
You're no longer burdened by even having to consider the idea of like commercial success matters. You have more money and the ability to go on tour and make millions of dollars whenever you feel like it. All right. So what seems interesting to you to do? And if it's just the same stuff, I'm not saying that, like, it's not necessarily a judgment, but it does seem to me like if you were really like curious and engaged artist, that naturally something would change. And so I think it's like makes sense for the music to be different and worse, because it's going to get different and worse in one way. They're either going to try to recapture the essence that is fake now.
Yep.
Or they're going to do something new, and it's not going to be the same familiarity and probably quality. It's also normal. Like, I don't know, when all you do is play music when you're like 19, 20, 21, yeah, you're probably going to make more bangers than when you spend your 30s on vacation and then kids, and then just like try to recapture the energy in a studio for 6 weeks. It's like, that's not really the process. It's a band that I've gone on and off with over the years, and I look back at the discography now, and it's kind of funny to me of Counting Crows. It's like, I really still love August and Everything After, even though it's like really there's places where it's overwrought and whiny, and certainly that gets amplified in the subsequent albums. But the follow-up, so August and Everything After, huge hit, and the second album is just mostly Adam Duritz complaining about how being famous sucks.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, I at least appreciate this is an authentic place that you're at right now, but God, is this embarrassing and whiny.
Sure.
Just like,
Sure.
oh, I heard myself on the radio today. It's like, oh, what a fucking bummer, dude.
Yeah, it must be tough to be so rich and famous.
Just trade in all your millions of dollars and you're just like revered album and go back to, you know, being a student or working at Target or whatever the fuck you were doing before this album came out.
Yeah.
So
Not going to happen.
yeah, it's complicated. It's really, I don't understand how you're supposed to. Another artist that struck me is just, I can't listen to this anymore because of the amount of success that they achieved was 9 Inch Nails.
Okay.
Just like, stop whining.
Yeah, sure.
Stop whining.
Sure.
Stop whining. You can do whatever you want.
I want to, it's funny, right? Because like you want, it's justifiable for someone to whine in like the early 20s when they're trying to make it. But like when they're in their 40s and it's like, yo, you did like the social, like you've done like all the soundtracks and all this other shit, right? It's like, you're very successful. I don't know what kind of music you should be making. That's up to you, but I know it's not this.
I don't want you, Trent Reznor. I mean, I think that some of his later work where it's been more experimental and instrumental is like pretty dope.
Same.
Kind of into it, but it's like, I don't want to hear another fucking song about heroin.
Yeah.
If you want some heroin, you can get someone to go get it for you
In 5 seconds.
You don't even need to leave the house.
Yeah.
And if you want to clean up, you can go to any rehab place on the planet and clean up.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear it anymore. Your relationship with heroin is exactly the relationship you want it to be. It's as on or off as you want it to be. Please stop making songs about it.